Hey everybody, it's Big Chillin' here in the middle of a big field of grass. I'm just cherry bonging. I'm just so relaxed right now, it's incredible. I kind of had to lie down. And, well, I felt compelled to create. So, here we are. Although technically, at the time of narrating, we are in week 4. I'm going to comment on this week 3 game because I have been a little bit behind. Now, there is one man that needs no introduction. Maybe the only player to win as many SPLs. Like, he's... I don't know. Like, it's conflict. What more could I say? His record, through the roof, higher than Dice's. And one of the most consistent mainstays of GSC. Definitely up there with Fear and Lavos and those guys. And he's in loser's bracket because I guess he got counter-teamed. I didn't quite look too far into the game previously, but he got knocked to the loser's bracket by Blazing Dark in round 2. Funnily enough, his opponent also got knocked into losers in round 1 by the same guy, by Blazing Dark. We have Cow. I really know nothing of Cow. I'll have to look into it. Anyways, I thought of covering this game because it's especially interesting for reasons I will reveal later. The teams are good. Remember that you guys can sub. You can join that Discord and predict outcomes of matches. You can release your unhinged ideas about the meta. You can catch the games live. And you can support the legacy. So why not joining? Alright, here we go. We got, it's a best of 3 folks, Cloy lead. Now, standard building strategies don't always apply to conflict. We'd say, yeah, it's Cloy lead, so it's probably a Raikou, or it could be a Blissey in the back. We'll see. But conflict isn't really known for double electric. There is a Skarm. And the Curse Snorlax prompts in the Skarmory. Of course, conflict did get his spikes up, so he's still happy with the exchange. And the Skarmory is toxic. Toxic Drill Peck, for that matter. It was Cow who switched out, and not the other way around. So, he did bring in the Fori. He took some chip damage, and he also has a Starmie, so this could be a double. This could be a double spin. I missed the toxic turn, but Starmie got poisoned, so this is proving rather frustrating for Cow right now, as the Skarmory is putting in some work. And there's the Blissey, as predicted. So this is looking like one of those stall builds with Cloy Blissey, and the advantages that come with this is that Cloyster is usually the sole rapid spinner. So the Spikes games relies almost entirely on Cloyster. You might have a spin blocker, and sometimes you have rest on the Cloyster, so no toxic. It depends. Definitely no boom, because it's incompatible, unlike with Fori. So Blissey comes in clutch because it can use Heal Bell for support, and Cloyster can come in a little more aggressively on toxic users. And of course the rest is nice. Sometimes it has Protect instead. So we got the Lax on Lax. Some classic violence. All with the wind blowing in my hair. It's just beautiful. A spectacle to behold. The laxes, not... Let's not get too carried away, guys. All right, so Skarm. We're going to find out if this Skarmory has Whirlwind. Never mind. As the Kloy comes back in, is probably going to try and lay those spikes again. Starmie comes in. Hasn't revealed any attacks yet, but we'll see in a moment. So we do see the recover. And a Venusaur is revealed. Probably not the team you'd want to have a Venusaur on. Or not the team you'd want to be facing if you have a Venusaur. Because there's the Moltres, which is pretty scary, but T-Tar comes in. It's incredible how well T-Tar synergizes with Venusaur. Rock checking fire, dark checking poison. Grass checking water. Rock check, yeah, you know. Oh shit. Oh shit. That's all I can say. He was probably not expecting it to get O-code like that. That's a little bit tricky, but Cow lands the first KO with a crit surf on the Tar. This is going to be a little bit more tricky for him, but not impossible. He doesn't count it out. He understands the game. He's probably one of the most consistent players. He's seen it all. So it's still going to be an uphill battle. And there's the spin, the first spin from Conflict's side. We know that the Snorlax is Curse. It might also have EQ. We don't know what that fourth move is, but with Tar down, it's all gonna depend on the Skarm, which has a Curse. So the fourth move is probably Rest, I guess. I'm not sure. Drill Peck dealing some nice damage on that Umbreon. So this is looking pretty good so far. Now we know Umbreon typically runs Charm, but this one is a Moonlight Umbreon. So that also means that the Toxic is looking kind of permanent. Drill Peck with a crit this time, negating the attack drop. But the Toxic is going to stick. So really, right now, Conflict with his Blissey can come in and out quite easily. He's not too worried about the Moltres. As long as he can keep spikes off his side of the field, then he's not going to be in trouble, as he otherwise might be in, say, ADV, where Moltres is often paired with T-Tar and permanent Sand. Tar neither has Sandstream nor is it permanent in Gen 2, so... But just you wait. That doesn't mean that Toxic Sand Spikes doesn't exist. One day, perhaps sooner than you know, we might see a Toxic Sand Spikes team in GSC on this channel. So Blissey coming in. Like you see, it completely no-diffs the Moltres. It has no issue with most special attackers. There's only one, maybe two, that give it problems. It's the growth sweepers. And even then, that depends. Usually it's growth Rest Talk Vaporeon that gives it problems because it can actually outstall this Pokemon. And then there's, like, I guess, a bit of Spikes shuffling with Whirlwind Zap, but that's it. So yeah, anyways, Blissey doing God's work here. Just completely nullifying all of that sun-boosted glory. While Snorlax does Snorlax things like warding off the Starmie. In comes the Fori. Kloy could come in here. Conflict is going to prioritize the long game. He knows that if he just goes to Kloy, it's not, Cow is not going to stay in with it. So he wants to ensure as much damage as possible on this Fori. We're going to see if Cow has something up his sleeve. Or their sleeve, anyways. Defense Curl. Okay, that's interesting. Defense Curl is a pretty... I don't want to say common, but it's a decent tactic. It's an anti-Snorlax tactic. Usually it's paired with something else like Rest. But that also means that it's probably not, or certainly isn't, rapid spin. So there's only one spinner on Cow's side. And now he reveals a mischievous, so that's going to be very interesting because we do see mean look. Conflict admits that risking tar wasn't very smart. And this Venusaur is as good as dead. Unless he can get the kill the next turn with a Razor Leaf crit. That's not out of the realm of possibility, but there's the first protect. And the next turn, I believe, is the last, I want to say. Oh, no, never. No, it's not the last, but is he going to land the Razor Leaf? Nope. Now Cow, so Venusaur's going to die next turn, and Cow has the option to, well, honestly, in other circumstances, he would have to choose whether he wants his Mischievous to die or risk switching into something and losing a lot of damage, but, I mean, Moltres, so, yeah, that's no-brainer. So now he's up 2, and this is looking mighty solid for Cow right now. But we can't count the champ out. In comes Missy, taking 25% as per usual in this tier. Another mean look. But it won't matter quite as much this time, even though the Skarmory doesn't have Whirlwind because it has to have rest on the last move. The Missy was so low. Moltres switched in, took some damage. It was actually pretty neat damage, and then there is the Starmie. It came in on the perfect turn, so nice predictions there. Now down 4-2, and no spikes on the field. Conflict is going to be hard-pressed to make something happen. But he is ever persistent. In the meantime, we hear the chirps of all birds. They're cheering on the Moltres. Yeah! Versus the No Electric team. I am seeing so much No Electric nowadays. It's crazy. What has the world come to? It's no wonder these birds are cheering on Moltres, man. There's no Zapdos to speak of. Rapid spin. Reminder that this Cloyster is not Boom, so even if he wanted to, but he doesn't, even if he wanted to, he wouldn't be able to explode on the Starmie. He's using spikes. He has to be a bit cautious not to take unnecessary damage, and that's where the Protect comes in. So, this isn't the first mon of his I've seen him use Protect with, and it's actually pretty handy here, because it's stalling for time. And there's a Psychic reveal, so we do see Psychic and Spin. The Cloyster's going to take some damage, but you know, he is sort of controlling the situation now. And if Starmie wants to spin, he's going to have to go through the Snorlax, and that is a risk that Cow is willing to take. But that's also going to put him a little bit further back. Oh, and there's the crit, so no more spin. And Conflict says, all right, back in it. And back in it indeed. He now has a win condition. Well, not quite a win condition, but something that can accelerate his win condition. Oh dear. I just got barked at. I don't know what's going on. Mind you, I'm in an open field, so it's normal that there's lots of dogs here. But, yeah. No, I was just barking at some bird or something. Okay, sorry, pardon me. I just got distracted by the dog. So, the Cloyster comes in. It's able to 3-hit KO this Fortress, and this Fortress has nothing for the Cloy. Mind you, there's a heal bell in the back, so he could land a Toxic, but, I mean, I think Cloyster wins this exchange unless, yeah, Cow can't do anything about those spikes. The spikes are there to stay. Fori is kind of just fodder at this point. And, I mean, it can wall the lags, at the very least. But now, Cow is actually the situation has turned completely around, and Cow cannot break through the Bliss. Cloister gets healed of its toxic, and it's actually surprisingly threatening with its toxic spreading ability. Oh wait, no, sorry. With its stab surf, which is still nice to have. And because it can check, like we mentioned earlier, the Fori. And the Fori is the most consistent answer to Conflict Snorlax. Umbreon, not quite as much. Blissey spreads toxic, and so we see the fourth move revealed. Or actually there was a flamethrower at some point, whatever. And Toxic Flame. Toxic Flame is really nice. That sun-boosted critical hit flamethrower from Blissey does but a mere 33% to the Snorlax. And there's a sun-weakened Surf that did 8%, just enough to negate lefties. It's kind of funny if you ask me. Is he going for a second Surf? Oh no, he goes for the spin. Yeah, that's a no-brainer. Alright. And Cal forfeits the first game. So it was looking really solid, and then all it took was a single crit. He played very consistently against that Misdreavus, and the confusion and all that stuff didn't matter. To be completely honest with you, Paris Sung Misdreavus isn't very consistent, and I don't know, it's just a bit of a waste, because at the end, all it achieved was it took out a BLmon that wasn't going to do anything in this matchup. So, on to game 2. Now, Conflict brought a lot of surprising teams, and this one is going to be pretty interesting. Also, so is Cow's team. I have to say, the team he brought previously, if that one's his, I liked it. It was pretty cool. So, anyways, we got Fori lead with Protect, which is a very Conflict thing. And Cow goes straight to Gar, and there we see a Piloswine. So Fori and Piloswine. When on earth do you see something like this? Piloswine is a really funny Pokemon. So here we got... What does Piloswine do, right? It checks electrics. It deals fuck tons of damage to Gengar. In came the Cloy. Surprisingly, Cow didn't go for the spikes there. Not sure why. And while Gengar can certainly chip the Piloswine, it's threatened back. Gen 2, no Levitate. So it is threatened by an Oko. It can't evade Piloswine and harass it as it might otherwise do. So, Starmie. So we see a Starmie, a Fori, and a Piloswine. What on earth is this? We do see the Cloister come in. Their light screen Starmie. For the love of God, Conflict. Explain yourself. Please. What is this? There's a rapid spin, but it gets spin blocked this time. But the light screen is actually going to come in handy, because now Gengar's sort of threatened. Cow has something for him, though. He does reveal Hypnosis, and it puts the Starmie to sleep. So that was a pretty good use of the Hypnosis, if I have to say so myself. And there's an Ice Beam stab dealing way more than standard Nidoking damage. So Piloswine in the damage department is doing quite a lot. It does more than Nidoking, but it doesn't have anything for water types. Snorlax versus Snorlax. Doesn't get any better than this. And we got Curse on Curse. You know what's up. Double Edge. The best normal move in the game. Or the second best, I guess. And it's coming down to a speed tie here. Who's going to get the hit? Cow goes for a rest, but Conflict switched out. Omastar. And there it is. There it is, folks. The one and true Surf Sandstorm Omastar. It deals fuck tons of damage, and it has haze. Sand in GSC lasts 4 turns, deals 12.5%. That's 2 leftovers turns. Cow says based. He has never seen this before. And lo and behold, toxic sand spikes in GSC. Oh, that's swagger. Cow coming in with swagger Zapdos. That's kind of reminiscent of what Conflict brought round 1 with some swagger. A swagger team. He had an Alakazam. But this time, we don't see Alakazam. Swagger seems like a good tech for the Piloswine. At least in the 1v1 situation. Did it reveal Hidden Power yet? Nope. And the Piloswine hits itself. This is looking pretty bad. Unless Conflict can wake up the Starmie and spin away those spikes. It's looking pretty bad. And there it is. Oh! And he calls out the Mispredict. Piloswine had attempted to EQ the Cloyster twice already, but the Swagger made Piloswine hit itself, so Conflict is going to have to go the old-fashioned way in a Spikes War. And its Hidden Power Fire confirmed. Judging by the damage on both Gengar and Fori, it's not every day you see a little bagworm stand up to a ghost and an oyster. The world is your cloister. Piloswine, gaming moment, comes in on a T-Bolt. Is it going to survive an Ice Punch? Boom! Oh dear. But that also means, yup. Is he going to call out Light Screen? Oh, right, we saw that before. Now with no electric resist, he's just going to spin. He knows behind Light Screen and with spikes gone, his Snorlax is going to be able to last enough to perhaps put away this team here. Cloyster on Cow's team is dead. Conflict gets swaggered. This time he says thank you for the 2 attack boost for free. He's behind a Light Screen, so that Zapdos doesn't have anything for him. Surprisingly, no Whirlwind. So he brings in the Licks. In comes Omastar. He can either surf or set up sand. It's going to obviously go for surf. Very underrated special attack power. I think it's like 100 base attack, special attack. So this, and there you go, 12%. Look at that. That means 8 turns of sand just kill him on. But stacked on top of that is the 22%. This is going to force the Snorlax to consume a lot of PP. Cow going for Sleep Talk. Let's see how well versed he is in PP management. Okay. Rest. Speaking of PP, I think I'm going to have to use it if this goes on too long. And this Omastar seems to be really, really reliable right now. This sand is really dictating the pace. Water type from Surf. Water's just such an excellent typing, and this synergizes so well. Oh, did he try to sandstorm during a sandstorm? Yeah. Oh, right. So for the record, rain and sun can be renewed if the sun or rain are active. So if you have one turn left, you can click sun and the turn counter resets. With sand, you have to wait for the sand to subside. I don't know why. Sand is already bad enough in GSC, and rain is just, well, let's not talk about rain because rain is just non-existent, which is funny because that makes sun the best in GSC. And Skarmory actually gets a kill, if you want to call it that, because he whirlwinds in the Cloyster. And all these mons, Fori, Omastar, Piloswine, and Skarmory, are immune to, to sand. So you can see Conflict meticulously planned out this team. And there's the Zapdos with the swagger and hiding behind a sub. He can't hide forever. There's a curse. Good idea to curse there. That's going to increase the defense and maybe make Snorlax a little bit more robust against hitting itself. This is the last opportunity Cow has to go for a swagger. He's going for swagger paralysis strats, parafusion, but it didn't pay off. And there is the Zam. But it's a male, interestingly enough. Hiding behind a sub. And this looks exactly like the team that Conflict brought round 1. I'm sorry I didn't cover that game. With the sole difference that Conflict used Attract, and he was nearly going to lose that one game. But he managed to clutch it out. It was against Gare. So, interesting, pretty bold, if I do say so myself, to bring this same team against a player of this caliber. A team that he used and understands. Yeah, never mind the chainsaws in the back, guys. I can't do anything about that. But it's so far in the distance. I'm confident I'm gonna be able to drown that out. Swagalicious. Skarm, no Spadef drop. You know, for a steel type, it's not very resilient versus so many special attackers. Case in point. So Conflict knows his Fori's pretty much dead. He's bringing it. Oh, wow. Me and my big mouth. Okay. Never mind. What he's doing is he's kind of forcing Cow to expend all of the PP, and if he has to use all of that Psychic PP, he's used already 10, then this is really going to come and bite him in the butt because he will not be able to break the lax. He can try, and he's just going to switch in on predicted swagger turns. That's just going to give Lax some free turns to wake up and do his thing. He's going to rest. Safest move that he can click. And there's a Spadef drop, so it looks like he's going to have to sack one Mon. And it's Fori. Yeah. Doesn't live the hit. But there's 5 Psychics left. And he cannot swagger the Snorlax forever. So this could bite Cow in the butt. This is the problem of over-relying on RNG strats. When you can't break, and that'll be all you have. So, you know. This kind of reminds me of that time in GSC Invitational 1 where there was someone who brought, I think it was TC, and he brought an Alakazam, and that video, I called it Hot Psychics in Your Area. That was such a meme back then. Man, how times have changed. Okay, what's going on? So it looks like the Zam ran out. Licks booms. Yeah, and there's a couple of messages I'll read later. I don't really feel like reading it right now. But they're already saying GGs to each other. But they're still playing, they're playing their hearts out. This is still very much up in the air, like it's still down to, it still boils down to the best two Mons in the game. They still have their queens, folks. They actually don't. Yeah, no, Haze exists on Omastar. I don't know why I said that. So yeah, lots of talk in the chat, but I cannot be bothered right now because this game has already gone on quite a long time. And this is just the power of Sandstorm. I fucking love this, man. Haze, oh my god. That's crazy, man. Haze, he managed not only to do that, he fit Haze, man, on the Omastar. Maybe I'm just not remembering correctly, but that's pretty insane that he has Haze as well. Just shuts down so many different sets. And we've already seen D-Knight Haze. Now we're seeing Omastar Haze. So, yep. I believe that the Zam has no fighting power. Yeah, it all it has is swagger, so that's why he's keeping it in the back. But it can't attack, so there's not much to do. Cow forfeits this one as well, meaning that Cow, with a valiant effort, will be eliminated from the tournament. And Conflict shows who's boss once again. So guys, if you liked this video, then please leave a like and consider subscribing. Check out the playlist of the Invitational. I'm keeping it up to date with lots of things. I upload shorts from time to time when I think there are some highlights that I think are cool. And, I'm just in a releasing mood. That's why I'm doing all these videos nowadays, but I can't do it with the consistency that I once used to. That is for sure. Take care.